Risk disclosure statement. There is a risk of loss in trading stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, derivatives, options, forex, and cryptocurrencies. This risk can be substantial, and therefore investors should carefully consider their financial suitability prior to trading. Past performance is not indicative of future performance. The software, strategies, chat rooms, websites, and any associated websites or digital things are for educational purposes only and should not be construed as an express or implied promise or guarantee that you will profit by losses may be limited in any way whatsoever. Users of the information accept full responsibility for the outcomes of their deployment and holds Stops and Icebergs, LLC, and any associated companies, agents, management, owners, and customers harmless without preservation. Please trade responsibly. Commodity Futures Trading Commission, CFTC, Rule 4.41, hypothetical and simulated trading performance results have certain inherent limitations, some of which are described herein. No representation is being made that any components likely to achieve profits or losses similar to those shown. In fact, there are frequently sharp differences between hypothetical or simulated performance results and the actual results subsequently achieved by any particular trading program. One of the limitations of hypothetical performance results is that they are generally prepared with the benefit of hindsight. In addition, hypothetical trading does not involve financial risk, and no hypothetical trading record can completely account for the impact of financial risk in actual trading. For example, the ability to withstand losses or adhere to a particular trading program in spite of trading losses on material points which can also adversely affect actual trading results. Because these trades have not actually been executed, the hypothetical results may have or overcompensated for the impact, if any, of certain market factors such as lack of liquidity. There are numerous other factors related to markets in general or to the implementation of any specific trading program which cannot be fully accounted for in simulated trading or in the preparation of hypothetical performance results at all, of which can adversely affect actual trading results.
This trading room and its webinars are not intended to mirror my trades or to give specific trading recommendations. The analysis and steps I share are trades and potential trades that I take for myself based on my personal analysis. The goal of this room is to teach trades and identify specific areas to trade and manage themselves, but ultimately the decision is yours. Trading is extremely risky, and if you do decide to follow my personal trade, you do so at your own risk and can potentially lose your entire account and even more. I'm not always profitable and have routine drawdowns on my trading accounts. The spreadsheet you have access to is my personal spreadsheet that I use to enter zone values and ATR values that help me pinpoint exact prices for my trades. You can see when I enter zone prices into the master spreadsheet as well as prices to enter trades whether you want to go long or short. You have the ability to copy the spreadsheet and enter your own values and use mine to confirm zone prices until you're able to draw the zones correctly yourself. The spreadsheet is not telling you which direction to trade as it has entry prices and stop prices for both long and short positions depending on which way you personally decide to trade.
All right, good morning. So markets are ripping off the page. FOMC was yesterday, so usually the big money comes in the next day, and whoever this big money was not correct so far. So huge sell ice, just globs of sell ice here. Again, you never know what they're doing. You know, it doesn't matter what they're doing. It's the area that's important, like I talk about every day. But again, whatever they were doing, they could have done it at a better price, right? So regardless, there's trap traders in this area. That's what we look for, and the market moved out. For my strategies that I take certain strategies here, and I'll put this in. Hold on here. Don't want my bank statements. Sorry. Hold on. So I take these different trading strategies, and for this particular event, there is nothing for me to take aggressively, meaning so I have three different ways to enter these trades. Either aggressively, meaning once it moves an ATR, a little more than ATR out of the zone, I'll jump in first, move out, or I'll wait for many of the strategies. I wait for the ATR retest confirm, which is just a better indication of it's going to continue in that direction. And then we have auto fade strategies that I take as well. For this particular where we're at area trading strategy, there is nothing for me to do yet. I am watching structure wise. This is balance. So if it breaks out of here, potential breaking away trade, especially if it can capture that tail that I put in yesterday, that instant rejection where it sold back off like 50 points in about 4 seconds, then this market is very likely going to rip. And everything's fractal too, so there's one bigger balance as well. So what are balances? They're just two-sided trade, back and forth. Somebody's going to be right, somebody's going to be wrong when the market moves out of this area. So that's what we take advantage of. So strategy for that as well, breaking away. Speaking of strategies, I sent out an email. If you're on my email list, I got to turn this thing down for a minute. It's driving me nuts.
Reports that we saw yesterday that Trump is to deliver virtual remarks today at 10:40 a.m. Eastern Time.
Alrighty, so then we got.
Trump, according to sources on X, reporting this yesterday.
So we got to remember, if we got positions on, Trump's talking at in about a half hour. So if anyone who's been trading lately knows, it has been a complete S show. And you know what the S stands for. When you have positions on and you get these tariff talks, like it's just literally flipping a coin. And my coin is about 95% against me every time I have a trade on whatever the tariff information comes out, it rips against me. All right, so this is not retesting, right? So I have nothing on yet. If this does retest for some reason, I can take that trade. What I can take here are some other strategies. Again, I'll get into the strategy course that I'm doing next week here in a second. But Say if it tags this, you got spot gamma levels that are related, most certainly. We got method Q levels, spot gamma levels. If the market tags that and starts to come back, I'll take the corresponding ATR trades. That's a trade that we take, which is the closest thing to a scalp that you can take that actually works in these markets. Instead of staring at the dome trying to scalp, which you have pretty much no chance in my opinion. We take these trades where it tags important areas. It's called the back and black strategy. It starts to come back and we take the 1 or the 3, the 2, the 1 ATR back to the zone. So I will watch for that. I'll put an alert here in case I miss it, like I do all the time. Actually, I need another cloud note column here. I don't know what happened to my other one. Let's clear this puppy out. Custom notes. Clear. And then we'll put an alert here in case it pops up here, and then take that trade coming back. Alright, so that'll make a sound when it gets up here, just so I know to tag it. Other than that, let's see if there's other areas that I can. So back and blacks don't have to be just GEX levels; they could be other important areas. Crude, I just got smoked on too. I jumped the gun again. We'll go over that here. It's still not out of the woods yet, but it keeps holding where it needs to hold to avoid dying. I don't have any areas here for me to take it back in black except for GEX levels. So if this tags here and starts coming back, I'll take the corresponding ATRs. What I was telling you, I'm doing a trading strategies course, right? So all these strategies that I talk about, this is my life's work basically of watching markets and finding important areas. So the trading strategies are areas that I look for the most important thing, the real-time volume events to occur in, and then when they match my areas as support and resistance, if these agree with those areas, that's where I put on my trade. So I have 18 different 18 different areas that 18 different strategies right now that I share with the trade room, and we go over every day while I'm trading. This is what I'm trading live with, right? So we have position trading strategies. We have auto fade strategies when you jump in right in the middle of the zone, when we have the reversion trade strategies. So anyway, I'm doing a course finally on this because every time I go over these, it's during live trade, right? And I always get it's like drinking from a fire hose. I can't follow you because it's too fast. Blah, blah. Well, I'm trading live, guys, like I say every day. So it's hard for me, and I can't go into basics, right? I'm trading live, so I have to point out the strategy, point out where it is, and put the trade on, and then manage the trade. I don't have time to say, here's step A, step B, step C, right? So during that, is it going to be a week long where we're going to go every day? I'm going to cover like 3 or 4 strategies, and then you could ask questions about it live, right? So it's gonna, and then I'm gonna make that interaction and those videos the course, right? So what I've offered everybody, and I keep telling people to take advantage of this because this is actually going to be triple the amount, because, and I'll go over why. So if you go to my website here, it's right here, click on this 24th and 28th. It's going to be at the I gotta change that. It's 3:30 Central. I didn't even know that was wrong. So I'm gonna change this. It's 1:30 my time, 3:30 Central. So click on this, and here's the course, right? So this is literally gonna be almost a third of what it's gonna cost. So take advantage of being in the live. You don't have to be in the live. It's still gonna be recorded. You'll have access to the digital content, but why it's gonna be, so this was gonna be half price, and then I realized when I was doing this, it was too late. I already sent it out. The reversion, the ATR reversion trades was a whole nother course that I was developing. I was already like 3/4 of the way through it. So now I'm going to have to, basically, it's going to be, because these are strategies, right? So that course is going to be part of the trading strategies course too. So you're going to basically get 2 courses for that ridiculous price. But after, as of Monday, it's going to go back, it's going to be like $17.99. So take advantage of it, and take advantage of coming in and asking all the questions that you may have, so on and so forth. So just go to my website for that link if you want to get involved with that. And then also, let me just put this in while I still have a chance before I forget. This is all my info. This is everything I'm using. Drawing tool, my other course. So again, guys, these are two different courses. This indicator course, SI indicator course, is teaching you how to identify these areas and how to trade them and what the the entries, the exits, what the settings, everything. So that's the SI course. Trading strategies course, like I said, is applying this stuff, this SI information to important areas. So let me put this in here in the YouTube if you guys want it. Oh, sorry, that didn't take. That was my wrong email. Let me change this. I don't think it'll let me post stuff if I'm not on my. Let's try this again.
Prior NP1 retested.
Alright, I think I missed something here in NASDAQ while I was chirping. Actually, this is an A+ reversion here, potentially one of the strategies, or well, maybe not. Okay, so I didn't miss anything yet. So one of the strategies is the A+ reversion. We already know the markets come back to these volume events nonstop, 70+% or more of the time in my calculations of watching 4 million of these over the last 7 years. So you have that, and then you also have, this is why it's called A+, because when you get trapped traders, so anyone that was selling in here is not feeling real hot. When it comes back, they went out, and that helps propel it back to the zone as well. So if that came down there, I would take that A+ reversion. I'm going to get this set up right now. 55.75 would be your entry. So as when you're looking at this chart, and if you're watching this for the first time, or I have a few traders in my trade room that just joined. A couple of them watched me for the first 2 days this week of the roll when nothing's going on, and they're like, "This isn't for me. This isn't meld with my strategy." Guys, I don't care what you're using. You don't have to trade my strategies, but I'm telling you, if you use this volume information with whatever you're doing. You got more buy ice here. I haven't done anything yet with this stuff. Actually, I could have taken a barking lick here. Sorry. I'm just missing a trade here because I'm chirping. 1 second. Alright, so if this comes back, I'll go over this, but I should have been long at 1575 barking lick. So if this comes back down there, I'll put those on. I'm not going to chase it. There's and you have another event here too.
He says Ukraine and US teams to meet in Saudi Arabia on Monday. It would be a separate meeting from the Russia-US teams.
We got some someone's chirping too, I think. Zelensky. This rhythmic thing, man. This set to fall column on these rhythmic dome is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my trading. I actually emailed them yesterday because I'm just so sick of it. It's cost me thousands of dollars. All right, anyway, so what I just missed here, if it comes back, I'll put this on. So this is one of the strategies called BARK. Blind, meaning it could happen in any area. ATR, it retested right there, and I heard it, and I just was talking, so I didn't get it. And then as it comes back out, this was the entry price. I should have been long right there. Now you have more buy ice, which I can do the same thing with, but I should have already been long right now. So hopefully it'll pop back down here. ES is actually tagging that area. That's the annoying chime going off. So this was the reversion trade that I was looking for too. All right, so if this starts coming back now, this is the back in black. You have an important gamma levels. Dealers are hedging, so that helps propel it back to the zone, right? And then we already know. Again, this has gone pretty far, but I'll still take these trades coming back. That's the 3 ATR. Is that the 3? Hold on, there's the 3 right up here. Yeah, that's the 3. So I'll take the 3, the 2, and the 1 coming back if this comes back this way, called the backdoor reversion. So what I was getting at, yes, guys, I'm going over a lot of stuff fast, but this chart looks ridiculous, right? There's so much stuff on this chart, but when you understand it, it's completely simple. This is not like a bunch of high-tech, stuff that is, all these are ATR reversions. The dashed lines are their entries, and the dotted lines are the stops. And then you have the liquidity, which is just the orders in the order book, and then we have the zone where the SI event happened. That's it. There's nothing more to this. Then we have the GEX levels where the options dealers are hedging. That's it. So again, yeah, it looks overwhelming, but when you know what you're looking at, it's not overwhelming. Trust me. I make my trading as simple as possible. All right, so I'm going to take these coming back here. We got the 3, 2. And then 1. So if I can fill down those, and I'll put the corresponding stops in. I want to take these on this account as well. So there's these levels right here, so you can get this on the book map.
At the bottom of the you see the release of
So you can either hover over these or get these values over here. That's giving me a headache right now, so I'll just hover.
Draw 62 BCF.
So this is
Also
down here.
expecting comments from ECB's Pulcini at the bottom.
Right, I filled on that NASDAQ long that I didn't chase. So we'll go over that in here in a second. So I'm taking different strategies here. I'm long NASDAQ and I'm going to short.
And again, London School of Economics.
Actually, I can't short on that one because I just took a live account long, so I can't do opposing positions. So we'll go over to this one. So again, I need to see the price to get filled here. I'm just trying to hover over this damn line. I can't get the exact price here. It's supposed to like highlight. I guess we gotta go over here then. Reversion 3 short, 38.75. So that's the first. And I could put it so that this zone drawing tool gives you the contract sizing. You put in what your account size is and what you're willing to risk per trade, and it automatically populates. If you want to take the reversion trades, I could put on 10 micros or one full one. That's why I have one full one here. Or if I'm taking position trades, I could put on 0.4 of a micro. Or I mean of a full one, so 4 micros. I already forgot what I said. 30. So you got it. So you have to. I don't know. Here it is 38.75. So that's the 3 reversion if this comes back. I'll put that on. Not 1. I want 10. 3. The 2 is 31.25. Again, guys, this is for educational purposes. It's not to mirror my trades. Plus, you don't want to mirror my trades anyway. You want to learn what you're doing for yourself so you can take these trades on your own. Speaking of which, also on my website. So I got the 3 and the 2 working right now, and the 1 on this one. I'll show you this here in a second. But NASDAQ, I took this long. I got to get filled on it, I think. Hold on here. Yeah, so I'm long NASDAQ. So what did I do? So this event turned bullish. How do I determine that? Look for the full ATR out of the zone. It retested right here. New stuff came in, but it's still retested. As long as the new event doesn't prove bearish, I can still take prior events, right? Then, so that was 2 events ago, actually, right? So, but as long as these guys, this most recent one doesn't prove bearish, meaning push an ATR out, then I can still take longs off of that, which I just did. And I don't chase. It came back to this price, and it filled me right there. Now what I can do is put on additional barking licks, either this guy or this guy. I'm not going to combine these. We do combine them. That's why I combine all that sell ice. This was, 10 minutes apart, so I'll just keep it like it is. But I am long NASDAQ, and I have not been filled on any of my reversions.
NQ1 validated. NQ stocks stopped by NQ 163.
All right, so if this struggles here, I'm going to get out of, I have 4 on, I'm going to get out of 1. Because it's live account 2 here. Hold on. Because we're at a GEX level, right? And then actually this is a sexy GEXy. One of the other trading strategies. But it blew right through. See, this is why you want tick strike too, because it helps you determine at these areas. Market Pulse said tick strike, but I'm using tick strike in this instance. I want to get the sound going here again. And the other thing too, remember I just said I was going to get out of 1? Well, if this thing's going crazy, like it is, you don't have to get out at these areas, right? This helps you judge, hey, is this going to pause at this area? It didn't. I'm still in full size, so I'm going to hold this now. All right, so at least I got this came back and literally filled me to the tick. That was very nice. That never happens. It always happens against me, so I'm tickled right now. So Dan, so I'm looking at my trade room. So yeah, this was a GEXy, but give it a second, right? Like, and especially this is why you guys want to use tick strikes. So in that document, you get discounts to everything I'm using. This could have helped you avoid. I didn't put that on, right? Because this was going ape shit, as my grandpa Chooch used to say, and I didn't put that on, right? All right. So the next level up here is GEX 2. Let's see if we have any other levels for this. And I don't have an ES short on. I didn't get filled. And the other thing too. So remember, I was using those areas to bounce off of. Well, I'd still take them. We got one left here and the spot gamma levels. But say if it pushes through here, well, that's not a back and black. It's not bouncing off the levels. I want to see it bounce off the levels. This just ripped through this one. If this one holds, I'd still take it. But if it moves a little higher, then I'm canceling these back and blacks.
Bottom of the hour, we see the release of the weekly EIA natural gas change. Forecast is a build of 4 BCF on the prior draw of 62 BCF.
I got that on. I gotta remember to cancel my orders if that does rip higher. You could potentially take a back and black. So the GEX levels, remember I just got to say you could take in here. Now we're getting hero alerts too. So now we might have a Floby. So guys, this is what I'm talking about, right? I'm going over all these different strategies I may be able to put on. And I'm trading live, so I don't have time to go over every one of these. But as far as the exact thing, but here's the Floby. If I get an alert, an event, there's no event here, I'm just heads up for it. So what I was showing you there was the, I just want to see if there's one more area here in NASDAQ where I can piece out of this, especially with the hero alerts firing off. I got nothing. So for me, my areas I get out, and we're going to go over the areas I exit my trades too. That's all part of the course. What I'm also going to do on the course, these are bonuses. I'm gonna show you guys how to draw these zones. I'm gonna clear out a chart and I'm gonna go over step by step how I draw these zones so you can learn to draw them for yourself. Lots of hero alerts firing off here. And this new indicator it gets real annoying real quick. I mean, it's good information, but so when you get the flow alert with the hero, this is spot gamma. This just means somebody's starting to fade this move with options, right? So we'll see why it's firing off here. So this is a big move. This is why this market just ripped. One of the reasons the options dealers are getting loaded up with options, they have to turn around and buy futures, right? What is going on here? It's like you hear all these alerts and I don't even see where the damn alerts are. It's not populating on the chart. Must be imagining that. All right, I'm watching this GEX 2 to get out of. I'm going to get out of 2 of these NASDAQ if it gets up here. Goodness gracious. And by the way, something happened in crude too, because we'll go over that. I got blown out of a trade in there, but there's heavy relative buying that was coming through. It's still coming through. Hold on here. Lots of hero alerts. I don't see where they're coming from, but you can hear them. What is going on here? All right, so again, for me, for my areas, there's nothing for me to get out of any of these yet until it gets here, or if I get an opposing volume event. So I'm lucky I got these on, right? I missed a trade. I got filled. I mean, how many external things can go off right now? They're trying to rattle me. The trading guys are trying to rattle me. I'm gonna get out of one of these NASDAQ. I don't usually do this because we're not in an area, but I mean, I just heard 45. I had one too many on anyway. I just 45 hero alerts, so I'm gonna get out of one of these NASDAQ longs right here. So you're welcome if you're long, because that means it's gonna rip another 100 points. But all right. So then I'm gonna watch this GEX 2 level, and I'll get out of one more, and then I'll let it ride, right? So that the way I trade is I'll piece out at these important areas. My goodness. I asked him about that when he was on a couple weeks ago, and he didn't really have an answer. I'm like, why is this stuff all firing off? And I don't even, it's like there's 50 alerts, and I don't even see anything on the chart. Anyway, I'm trying to find my trading in the zone document here, because it's not up, because my computer auto restarted.
Remaining for the EIA natural gas change, and shortly expecting comments from Mr. Spolton.
Here it is right here. Right, so this is what I'm talking about. I pay myself, and this is what I'm going to go over in the course. Like I said, we're going to go over all these areas too, because I always get, okay, you're in. I understand how to get in. Where do I get out of my trades? Well, these are the areas that I get out. They're the same areas that I initiate the trades to. Ludwig levels, market profile composites, highs, lows, point of controls, VU average, extreme standard deviation, spot gamma levels, method Q levels, right? So these are all areas that I will piece out as the market tags. So for me, we have not tagged anything except for the hero alert fire off, and I don't have that as part of there, but that was just an executive decision there. The only thing we do have here is this is extreme standard deviation. I don't usually get out at extreme standard deviation of VWAP by itself. I want it confluent with something else, but this was extreme. We heard all the heroes, so I got out of 1. So.
A build of 9 BCF, a build of 9 BCF higher than the expected build of 4
All right,
BCF.
so in the meantime, we've got some other trades developing here. Trading strategies. I could take the A+ reversion.
2 minutes time at 10:40 a.m. Eastern time. The Trump is due to be.
And Trump's talking in 10 minutes, so that's going to be a peach.
At the Blockworks crypto event today.
So he's at some event, so it's probably going to be, I doubt it's going to be negative, so it's probably going to be positive. Just guessing. So I'm going to put this reversion trade on here, and then we've got other trades potentially too. So if this comes down, you can see the bottom left there, 2007. That's the reversion entry, and I could put on 0.5 contracts, meaning 5 micros, based risking $500 on the trade. That this is set up. So if you go to the zone drawing tool, guys, if you've been having problems with it, let Bookmap know. There's been some issues. I don't know exactly what's going on, but Johan's working on it. He's the developer that developed this. So anyway, you get the zone drawing tool, you put in your risk, your account size, and what you want to risk. I'm risking 10% on these Apex accounts and the take profit trader accounts, but if you have your own money that you're trading, do not risk 10% on a trade. Most you should be risking on an individual trade is 2%. If you love a trade, aka an A+ setup, then you can double it, trade 4%. You can triple it too, but if you're wrong, if you really love something, that's fine. Take your shot. But if you're wrong, you lose 5 or 6% of your account size in a day. You need to shut it down. And if you want to, again, this is the most recent interview I did. If you guys haven't heard my story, most of you guys have heard my story. But this is the. I'll put this in the YouTube channel too. You can go listen to the 2 different days. I lost 800 grand back-to-back Fridays within a month. That was fun too. That was because I didn't respect my risk levels. So that, again, my pain over the last 25 years could be your gain. You don't have to go through 25 years of ridiculousness. You can learn and avoid it. That's the whole point. That's why you should be listening to me. To help you avoid the pitfalls that most traders go through before they learn. They stick their finger in their electrical socket enough, and then they figure out that it hurts, and they stop doing it, right? All right, so I could put this reversion trade on. Now it's 625. I'm going to put this on this account. Actually, I'm going to put it on both accounts here. 625. Again, Trump's talking here in 10 minutes. Any time something new comes out, you're rolling the dice. If they say something that's counter to your trade, these headline algos that trade off of the keywords, you're in trouble. And that's been happening a lot lately. Right, this is the A+ reversion, 625. Pound 5. So we'll go over that if that gets filled. Any questions, put them in the YouTube. Let's see what's going on here. All right, so I'll still take these coming back. This is quite a move away, and you wouldn't think this would come back, but I'm telling you, when these markets move and nothing happens it's very, very likely going to come back. Again, probabilities, have no idea. I have my rules. I'll put on the trades as they come back. But for there not to be an event up here is saying something. But you can see these GEX levels on their own are very powerful. So I do webinars all the time with Mentor Q. I think we got another few coming up here. There are a lot of traders in there are trading these, I like to say naked, but I don't want to visualize traders trading naked. They trade them blindly, meaning without volume events, right? I demand a volume event, an SI volume event, stop iceberg volume event, but they still work because the dealers, the options dealers, have to hedge their positions here. So you're very likely get a reaction. Very likely, meaning they are not the only game in town. So even if dealers are hedging here, the big money could be plowing in and run right through these levels, right? There's no big money in here today, right now. There was overnight. I don't even know what happened overnight. I still don't know what happened overnight. I'll show you this here. So these are the trades I have on now. We'll go over these crude pummeling. So something happened in crude, right? I had this trade on. This is what I'm talking about. You can't control this. You put on your trades and you hope this doesn't happen. Something came out here, as you can see. Sorry, that's soy oil. right here, right? I can't control something happening, some headline hit, and crude relative volume. So this is the exact 5 minutes for these time periods, going back the last 30 days, the best relative volume that I think you should be looking at. That tells me something out of the ordinary happened. Well, that's why I got stopped out of the trade. That's trading. These are markets. That's why you have your stops in. That's why you don't sit there and say, oh man, this has happened 4 times in a row. The next one I'm not going to take. You don't take the next one, and that's the big winner. That's why it's called probabilities. You just have to keep putting on the trade if you know you have a defined edge. And I am showing you the best edge I've ever seen in 25 years. That's what I'm trying to tell you. And it's not that complicated. Don't give up if you come here like I was going back and forth with the trader last night. Been in there for 2 days, the last 2 days, 3 days, during the roll. Nothing's going on. She's confused. She's like, this is just too much. It's too technical for me. I mean, it's not technical. Please believe me. You just need to watch it for a while, more than 3 days, right? So don't give up if you're trying to learn this stuff. When you understand it, it's going to be, you're going to be like, wow, that's really simple. And that's how you should make your trading. I don't have a lot of inputs in my trading. My main input is this information. Yes, I have areas, those are the trading strategies, but there's not a lot of inputs. So if your mind is scrambled looking at this, don't give up, because it will slow down and you will understand the power of the dark side. Just kidding. Just want to throw a Darth Vader reference out there. I am a Star Wars nerd. Grew up with it. All right, no questions. So this is what happened in crude, by the way. So I was short. I jumped the gun here again today. I did the same thing yesterday afternoon. It never really violated this area. So this was at the time of failed balance breakout. The best trade in trading. You can see it kept. So what you want to see is the volume event through that area. We had a volume event right at it, and we had it yesterday afternoon. Both times I took the trade, both times I took it on the chin. So I was getting a little giddy there. But what you want to watch out for here now too, if this does it again, watch, I'd say line in the sand is 66.84. Hold on here. What was that? Watch for the failed bounce breakout. That's the best trade in position trade in trading, in my opinion, the most powerful. All right, so this is the definition. So this is one of my 6 distinct setups that I that I teach in my trading course, right? And every day. This is broken ice. Someone came in here selling. How's that working out for them? Real good. And again, I don't care what they were doing here. I don't care if they were getting out of longs. I don't care if they were hedging options. They could have done it at a much better price. So we're going to wait for potential back in blacks here. There still has not been an event since all this stuff. So all this sell ice. I am still long NASDAQ. I'm waiting to see if we can get a move up to this GEX2. If it struggles, I'm going to get out of another one. Other than that, there's not a lot firing off now. Right on cue. Let's trade some wheat. And this is why you want to watch other markets. I say it all the time.
Turkey raising the overnight lending rate.
Like this was a
interim meeting.
Stop running out of time.
Against 20%.
Hold on here. This is right at the. Actually, this was pre-market stuff. This zone here, but we got something new here. So what I was saying is, when these other markets are kind of spinning around, you can hop to these other markets. All these other markets, it's the same stuff. If you can identify the threshold volume event, that's the edge, and they all react the same. Why? Because it's volume. It's traders trapped, and we're taking advantage of that. So you got buy ice and wheat. I'll be there in a second. I just don't want to miss this potential exit here if this tags the GEX2. So wheat moves pretty slow, so I'll go back there. NASDAQ does not move pretty slow, especially with a 41 ATR. So what I preach all the time as well, very, very important. You guys have to realize the volatility in the market, especially you static traders that like to risk a set amount every time you trade and a set exit, right? Like I like to risk 15 points and the NASDAQ can make 30. Great. The market doesn't care what you want to risk. The market cares about the current volatility. So if you put on a trade and you're risking 15 points right now, you're it's about 95%, 99% you're gonna get stopped out just on the whipsaw, because it's whipping around 41 points every 5 minutes, back and forth.
Fully expecting Trump comments.
Yeah, here come. All right, so this is we're gonna watch real time here, me holding this trade into Trump talking. Hopefully he'll be positive because he's at some event, but who knows? So this has been the driver of the trading for the last month. It's been ridiculous. It's actually hitting the Wall Street Journal's written about it, New York Times has written about it, like how random and ridiculous it is for traders. Like you're in a trade and then again you get the shine bomb from Mexico saying something and the market rips 100 points. It's insanity. You can't control it. You just got to accept it or take a vacation for the next 4 years. I don't know what to tell you, but it's not fun if you have a great position on and then something comes out contrary. You can't control that though. That's why you just put on your trades with your stops, just like crude. I can't control whatever just came out there. I have no idea what it was. It doesn't matter what it was. I stopped out. That's the way it works. You just got to accept it. Being a trader, it's hard mentally to accept stuff like that, but you got to do it. That's why trading is difficult. All right, so this is not doing anything. I'm just going to put an alert here. If it pops up here so I don't miss this exit. Partial exit, that is. And I can still put on trades.
Stock by CL, 290 per contract.
All right, we got something in crude. Let's see if we got any Gexies. Relative volume is not spiking anymore. So I could potentially put on some sexy Gexies here. Let's see. No.
The live stream has begun for the dishwashers this summer.
All right, so Trump's talking right now too. So no sexy Gexy. What's a sexy Gexy? Well, when you get a fade event, either buy stops, which are usually just retail trader pukes, it's not initiative buying and it fades right away, or sell ice, with the big money selling. Well, that was buy stops, but it's not at a Gex level, right? That was one. So nothing to do for me for the sexy Gexy strategy. Next step, are we in another area? Let's look at my ISI zones, and I'm going to teach you guys how to draw these for yourself, step by step on the Trading Strategies webinar. Nothing for those. This is a breaking away trade, but relative volume, it is breaking out of this balance. Actually, I could have got up. Hold on. No, there was no event. So the relative volume was heightened earlier. That's what stopped me out of those shorts. But that was it was down here as it was breaking out, but there was no event. So I'm not taking a breaking way up here.
We're going to get rid of that.
What you want to watch for too here?
I'm going to put up the Croak video for you for the...
That's a bigger balance. So watch out for that breakout. That would elicit probably a very big move over the next few days or week.
We'll put it up. So we've deleted that video. Just looking here, Brent crude futures rise more than $1 after US issues fresh Iran-related sanctions.
All right, they keep buying this puppy. Just see if we're anyway. So nothing for me to short here in crude off of this event. None of my areas, right? This is what a trading strategy is. It's looking for an area where these stop iceberg events occur. So nothing there. I'm still waiting to try to get out of one of these. Again, I don't need to see it exact. This is Gex 2 as well. So that's like the strongest Gex level. So what I'm talking about is the dealers are loaded up at these areas. And if you go to the Mentor Q, hold on there. Discord. Hold on, we're at that area right now. So if this fails, I'm getting out of another one. Doesn't have to tag it exactly out. If this starts to run back down, I'm out of one. But you see, like, look at this. Actually, you can't see right here. These things are going crazy. It's starting to fail, though. I'm going to give it 1 second here, see if we can blow through. If not, I'm getting out of one of these. The other thing, too, is if you see these things going crazy and the market's just spinning in place, that's telling you something, too. Like, this is not really ripping right now, so I'm about to get out of one more of these. All right, I got out of one. I gave it a chance. Doesn't mean it's not going to come back and rip through it. If it does, fine. I still have contracts on, right? That was the liquidity, full liquidity trade, too. We'll go over that. I'm out of those. All right, so I'm out of my full lick. Why? Well, because this is one of the biggest standing liquidity. It's harder to see with this method Q level, but this big resting liquidity has been there all morning. That's what a lick trade is. So bark and lick are synonymous, except for the lick. And this is a great trade, right? So the lick is just your target is the longer term resting liquidity, the heavy relative volume, or the heavy, not relative volume, sorry. It's not in there right now, but it was here, right? So I put on bark and lick off of this guy. I entered right there, came back and filled me to the tick for once in my life. And I just got out of the full lick trade into this heavy liquidity. I still have half my bark on. So then we'll see if it can keep going. If not, I hold it until my major exit points, which are opposing volume event, will get me out of the full trade if it turns bearish, and or the Ludwig levels, which is the second most powerful thing I've ever seen in my trading career, next to the Stop Iceberg events. And we can, here, like this here, how was this overnight at the time, right? And then when they formed, so like this one bounced exactly off there, bounced off the yellow lug, came back. So when it forms new lugs, it's telling you something too, right? So this one formed new lugs, but at the time that worked like a charm. Anyway, I won't get out of this NQ now until it tags blue or red lug up here. It's a huge resistance point. That would be extreme standard deviation of VWAP as well, right around 22.15, or an opposing volume event. This is how I get my R that you guys all want. Like, when I put on a trade, I like to risk 1 to make 5. Great, so do I. But doesn't mean I ignore important areas like this GEX2 level. I don't just ignore it because I want 5R, right? I'll get out of a piece, but I'll try to hold, and I get my R risk reward develop because of I'm going for a portion of it. I'm going to hold it until the red lug or an opposing volume event. So I was showing you here for the GEX levels. So you can see here, so it says GEX2 and NASDAQ. So you go in the Discord, their Discord, go to the query bot. And that GEX, I think it is. NQ1. I gotta turn off that alert too, it's annoying me. So this is the second biggest, 19,975. Let's see. No, 20,000. So it's got to be up here. I got to turn this alert off, guys. Holy camoli. So 2,100. Yeah, so it's basically picking this up here. I mean, it's within this area, right? See this big? This is the second biggest GEX level. So I guess this, again, I'm no options expert. I'm learning this along with you guys, but I mean, this looks like it's the biggest one, but this is probably the number 1, and that's the number 2. Would be my guess. But again, I don't need to know that. I just know they're here, and they're ridiculously powerful too, and that's where I get out of some of my trade. It is struggling here. So what else do we have? If this did fail, I could take a back in black. Right, there's a 1 ATR. I will take that. I can put on 5. Let's put on.
CW short validated.
So I'll put that on. Oh, wait, this is micro, so I can put on more than that. I can put on 5. So I did this the other day, and I didn't start it. You gotta, if you're gonna switch, so you can cross trade your products on these charts, right? So the NASDAQ, because it's been so volatile, you can see the sizing here. I can't. This is risking $500, so this is on a live trading account. I can't. If I'm risking 500, I can't trade full contracts. So the other day, I forgot to start it, and I thought it was 4 micros, and I put on four full ones, and I was down $800 in about half of a second. I'm like, oh yeah, that's not good. It couldn't move in my favor, of course. The $800. So be careful if you're using this. You got to bring it up here, right? And then you got to type it in, and then you have to hit start, and then this is now micros. Just make sure you hit start, or you're going to be trading the big contract, and it's not a fun surprise when it's ripping against you. All right, so that's the reversion trade. This is the back in black reversion. I'll get in here, I'll get out there. That's the best thing to a scalp that I've seen. Again, that's how I made my millions at one time, was scalping, right? So if I'm not scalping this anymore, good luck. I'm not saying that you can't do it, but I'm telling you, you can't do it. So good luck with that. So this is the best thing to scalp. Position trading wise, I'm long. So I'm going to put this on this one too. Hold on here. I forgot what those even were. Alright, I just filled there. I got to fill here.
Order filled.
Alright, so that's on. Now my exit is 54.75. Right in front of the zone. Alright, good. I didn't put on 5 full ones, so that's a good thing. 54.75. So we're going to see what these lines are in real time. So everyone with their head exploding, how difficult this is. 54.75. Alright, so I entered, bounced off the gex. It kept struggling here. The thing was going crazy. The tick strike was spinning in place. Remember, that's why I got out of one of these here. Failed. I took the corresponding ATR back. So that's where these lines come in, right? This dotted line was the 1 ATR. My stop is right there, the dash dotted. Remind you, I'm doing this while he's talking, so hopefully this can retest before he says something positive, or I'm probably going to get swiped out of this thing. The stop for it is 32.50. What am I doing? That's the wrong thingamajigger. First of all, I got to put on this 32.50. It's a little higher now. You guys use some judgment too. If you're right on a gex level, you can move it a couple ticks above there, points above there, right? So you don't stop out right at a gex level where the dealer's going to be hedging. You could move it above this stuff too, but that's a little too far. I'm not going to risk another 30 points on that. How about it just retest so I don't have to worry about it? How about that? Come on, you little piglet. You can do it. So this is my trading life here. Like you just can't swipe down there. Like the times I miss the trades, it swipes right down. Here I got to get tortured for 45 minutes. So it is what it is. I'm used to it. I'm conditioned to watch that, but it's still really, really annoying. All right, what else was I going to show here? I did want to read. I didn't get a chance to read Spot Gamma. A little late now, but. His commentary is invaluable, especially when he uses certain keywords. Futures 60 pips lower, giving up post FOMC gains after rejecting 5,700. Not anymore. It's not giving up the gains. The same 57 area was neglected. Right, there you go, guys. That's the game. It's a nonstop, all day, every day. Winner, chicken is for dinner, or steak now. Since I made $320 on that. Right. Out of the, so I didn't have to worry about the stop. I don't even think I put a stop in this one, did I?
MT short validated.
Oh, now I'm short some. Why?
Order filled.
Did I not put this fill in here? This is my life story. Did I not put the limit order in here? I know I put the limit order there. For some reason, I didn't fill on it. So I just cost myself $100. Of course, I caught it when I was there. So whatever, guys. Look where this bounced. The exact price, right? So that's what I'm talking about. That's why we have this trade. I don't know what happened there. I could have swore I just put it in my exit and it didn't fill for some reason. So that's just my life. I gotta deal with it. All right, I made something on it, but I cost myself. There's only $100, but it's still annoying because I know I put that in there. All right. So in the meantime, now what can I do? I took the reversion short. I'm out of that trade. Now, position trading wise, I still have 2 of the bark on. I got out of the full lick up here. I still have the bark on from down here. Now, here's your ATR. Here's your retest. I could put on another bark and lick off of this event. This is a stop and hold event. Don't see them that often. Usually stop runs are fades, but if they're not fades, it's telling you something, right? Meaning if it continues higher, it means the big money's coming in behind it too. Either way, ATR, retest, confirm, I could put on a bark trade. That entry is here, so I'm going to use a little judgment. I'm not going to enter at the same area, this gex level, the second strongest gex level on the board, right in front of it. I'm going to move it above it, so I'm going to force it to get above there to enter. I'm willing to risk those extra points so I don't have the same thing happen again, right? So 2103, I'll get in those, and I can just put, so this is the position trading side of it. I can only put on 2. As far as a thesis, meaning if I can trade bigger, and this does look pretty bullish, and it's breaking out of this balance, so I would do this double size. It's pretty extended, but what is extended? It could extend 500 points, as we've seen on down moves. So I will trade this since it's breaking out of that balance. There's no breaking away trade because the relative volume isn't heavy. This is one of the strategy requirements. But I will put on double size longs if this comes back up here. So I could put on 3, see how it's changing. So I change this and my entry until I get filled. But I'm moving it up here. So I'm going to put on 6. I'll get in at 2104. Brand new trade. So I'll be adding to my first spark, but it's a brand new trade. That comes up there. Spark. Click. All right, so that's working. Well, what happens if it rips down and tags this ATR, the blue line? That's the ATR. Well, then that long is canceled, aka DQ'd. I was working these A+ reversions. I mean, you can still take them. They're probably not, it's not a bad trade, but I don't like to see, so remember we're working this A+ reversion, tagging this to revert that way. You can still take it because there is a lot of activity down here, but I don't like to see markets tag the ATR above and then try to fade it. That means something's up. Like if it tags the ATR and it gets back through the zone, very likely going to do that most times, but you could take them. I mean, this is enough stuff here that, again, it's A+ because there's shorts in here that are holding their breath. They're not feeling very good. When it comes back to this area, they say, let me out, right? But this was probably some of those shorts puking right here. So you can see everything that's going on, right? The information that we have is incredible. Again, if you are trading without this and you're successful, great. Not saying it can't be done. I'm saying if you use this stuff, then you can be 10 times more successful because this is real-time stuff. I don't care what you're looking at, what line you're looking at your chart. It doesn't mean much unless you're getting the volume, that's what drives markets, agreeing with your area. And that's all I'm saying. So I got some guy joined on my room on Monday, sends me an email the next day. He was in my room one day and during the roll. This strategy, your strategies don't meld with mine. Guys, the volume events, it doesn't matter which strategies I'm taking, the volume events should meld with anything that you're doing. And again, if you're not using it, you don't have all the information. So whatever. I say it all the time. I used to get offended by it, because people just don't get it. But it's like people just don't get it. That's who we're trading against, right? So it's like, I can only, what's the saying? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Like I can only show you guys so much. If you don't believe it and you don't think, if you don't want to take my word for it after watching about 85 million contracts go through the market for 25 years, then you do what you want. But I'm trying to help you understand what is driving these markets. And it's the most powerful thing are the SI events. All right, I got to decide if I'm going to put these back on. I'm shocked there has not been another event here. This went through these levels, but I think I'm still going to take these ATRs coming back here. I can't tell you. I've seen this routine before, especially if Hero starts to turn over. That's another thing you can look for reversions. We don't really talk about that often, but say this thing starts turning over, the Hero flow, the real-time options flow, it's coming back to that zone, very, very likely, right? Again, just a guess, but let's look at it real quick. I'll come back to this. I haven't even read it yet. Should be doing that in the morning. So if this thing starts to turn over, and he says $1 billion or more, then that's just you're just getting dealers. They're getting loaded up with options. They have to turn around and sell the futures, right? So this has moved back down almost $1 billion, and that would be so right now. So we talk about this all the time. The options dealers aren't the only entity in these markets trading, obviously, but right now it looks like they're the only game in town. meaning whatever they're doing, whatever this hero is doing, that's this gray line or green line, whatever color that is, that's what the market does. So yeah, 85% of the time, the algos and the hero or the options dealers they're the only participants. But they're not all the time. So that's what you got to be careful of. But right now, you can just look at this. You can just look at the action of this hero. It's basically doing the same thing. The futures are doing the same thing. That means the options dealers are pretty much running the show, and they're not trying to like manipulate the market. They're not directional traders. They have to get in and out of their positions based on getting loaded up with the options, right? So it behooves you to understand this, and I would definitely get this. Again, in this document, you get discounts to all this stuff. This is actually, this is not 2 free weeks anymore. It's half off.
$69 billion in 2-year notes. $70 billion in 5-year notes.
I don't know if it's for the annual, but it's at least for the month,
7-year notes.
first month. All right. There's discounts to everything here, guys. We'll go over this. Like Ludwig levels, talked about that. Go to our website, enter in do the 3 free day trial. Say you saw it on the Bookmap webinar, you get special pricing. Trader syncs to document your trades. Tick strike, we talked about that. All this stuff are discounts.
Prior NQ long retested.
All right, let's see what's going on here. I still have 2 of these NQ longs on. So I gotta make a decision. I'm gonna take this reversion trade here.
$68 billion in 6 months.
Again, this is not the.
And $76 billion in 3 months. March 24th.
I love the guy. He talks nonstop, but it's never anything like. I mean, I'm not saying it's worthwhile, but it's like. Then we get the event and nothing's said. Like something comes out, the market rips, and then we hear what it is. I'm gonna try this, but it's not the best because again, this got out an ATR, but there's a lot of activity down here that some of these shorts are going to be reacting. So I'm going to try this. 625 is their entry. That's still in the order book, so we'll give that a shot.
It just sounds like he's repeating what he's said.
So Trump's talking too,
About the plans, the US government plans for crypto.
and that's another thing. Like I said, you don't want to be. You just got to be cognizant of your trades when he's talking. All right, crude. This is not proof bullish yet, but if it turns into a bullish event, I'll take bark licking long, bark licks, and CL bark and lick long. Sorry, I don't know what's wrong with me today. I feel fine. Slept well. All right, you got questions? Throw them in, guys. It's your time to. Mr. Hart, SI event. Yes, Mr. Hart, it's the entire foundation of my trading. Stop iceberg event. That's what you're seeing on this chart here. So these are buy icebergs that came in NASDAQ. What are icebergs? Icebergs are hidden orders that aren't so hidden when you have this information. So big money comes in here. They can't put in hundreds or thousands of contracts in the order book because the algos, that's this stuff, will run it away from them. So they have to hide their orders. So they only have to show a certain percentage of the order. So say they just put in 100, I think it's 10%. So say they have 1,000 to buy. Oh, they got to show in the order book is 100. Someone comes down and says, "Oh, I'm going to blow through that 100," and then there's another 900 behind it. And that's what this information is. The most incredible, powerful information you can have in your trading, in my opinion. You want to know? Don't you want to know where someone's secretly buying 1,000 contracts? This isn't 1,000, but I'm just making an example. This one was 220 something. This one was 285. This one was another 168. So you're looking at, close to 1,000. It's like 600-700 buy ice in this area. It probably behoove you, especially say if you want to get long on a pullback, you're like looking for a pullback. Oh, here's a pullback. I don't know. Where do I get long? I don't know. Maybe where all the big money came in buying it, where there's shorts caught, right? So again, if you don't have this information, if you're not using it, you just don't have all the information. I didn't fill on this damn 1 ATR yet. And again, I'm going over.
By CL, 216 contracts.
Right, this is a sexy Gexy, I think. Let's give this a shot.
Prior CL long
But I'm going to wait a second, right? You watch these Gex levels. There is a stop run into the Gex level, but if it blows through it, I'm not taking it. So this is a good example of, yeah, the dealers are hedging here, but it doesn't mean it's just going to fail. So I'll give it a second here if it starts to come back. So this is one of the auto entry trades where I jump in right in the middle of the volume event. I don't wait for it to move out. I'm going to give this a second here. And the great thing about this is you just use your traditional stop, but you have my normal shorts. I would wait for this to move an ATR out of here. So I'd be short at 67.80. Well, this one I can get short 20 ticks higher and right in the middle of the zone. Let me give this 1 second. If it gets back in here, I'll take this. But it's like already through this level, right? So I just don't want to jump the gun here if it might keep ripping. Come on. All right, took those. Sexy Gexy. So the way I trade the Sexy Gexy is, as we've been talking about this all webinar, I'm looking for the dealer reaction, right? So if the dealers do hedge and it pops out of here, I'm going to get out of one of them off of their hedging, right? And then I'll hold one for more of a position trade because this is an SI event. So again, I already know these levels react because the dealers have to hedge. So that's why I try to play their hedge. And then I'll hold one because this is a stop iceberg event that I take position trades off of as well. And I usually that you get a big move off of these. So that's what I'll do that. My stop's up here. All right, Trump is talking, guys. I'm not kidding. It feels like every time he comes out, something happens and he says something that's against my position. So I'm finally long these markets. He's saying something that they don't like. So the trade's on. I've been long. I still got out of some guys, and this is a great example too. Remember, I was long 4 off of this guy. ATR retest confirm. Remember, it was getting close, and I heard all this hero alerts. I got out of one. Then I got another one here. This is a perfect example of me not saying, all right, yeah, I'm long. I need 5R on my trade no matter what. Well, good luck. Sometimes you'll get the 5R. The other times, it's bouncing off important areas. I'm not going to ignore important areas if it struggles there. That's why I got out of another one up here. And we took the A+ reversion there, too. I still haven't gotten filled on this other one. Missed that by a tick. This isn't ideal anyway, but I'll take it for the sake of the room. And I probably would take this if I was sitting there by myself anyway. This is a lot of activity. You see what's happening here. I just didn't get filled. What did I just say? Big buy ice here. Whoever was selling here, and then it went like this. How would you feel if you were selling a lot here and you held on? Which a lot of traders do, praying it comes back. And it comes back, you're like, oh, thank God, let me out. All right, so that already came back to this zone. So I'm not going to take this A+ reversion now. But that's the idea. You're not always going to get your fill, but that's the idea. Did that clarify what an SI is? SI event, Mr. Hart? Oh, they said, thank you. That was my guess. Stop iceberg event, so powerful. Yes. And then the beauty of this stuff that we're using is a developer in my room, Johan, has devised a way to have this information on the subchart. That's this. Well, it's on chart as well. They have an on chart version, but to draw these events with our rules. Because if you watched me any times in the last 7 years, I used to draw these manually. What a pain in the ass. So I'd have to draw these manually with this edit tool, which is just from like 1962, right? I'd have to go into edit. Then I'd have to hit horizontal line, draw one line, draw another one, exit out of edit mode. And then I would have to go with the prices to my spreadsheet, which I still have. You get access to that as part of my trade room too, which you want when the zone drawer is not working, so on and so forth. But I would have to enter the values in there, right? And it was just, that's this thing. Here, you can get this too if the zone drawing tool is the best, but if you just want the spreadsheet, actually it's right on that. So it's in this document here. Where's it at? Right here.
152 contracts.
We got some weak stuff over there since nothing's going on. This is the spreadsheet I'm talking about, right? So on my end, because it is my spreadsheet. Actually, it's this here. This is the same thing. So I used to have to go in here and enter in the exact zone prices, the ATR, and then these are the same values you see on the chart. It's the same thing. The spreadsheet, that is, this zone drawing tool is the spreadsheet on the heat map. All right, let's see what's going on in wheat since these markets are just flipping around with Trump talking. More buy ice. That ripped out of there, so let's see if this is, let's check algo guy. So algo guy is just an exponential moving average. We use this as a filter for the bark and licks. This is bearish right now, so the blue is under the red. So there's no bark and lick longs for me, one of my strategies, two of my strategies. And again, every time I talk about a strategy, I'm referring to this document. And that is what this event is for. Again, I got to change that time. It's 3:30 Central. To teach all of the strategies outside of market hours. So it's slowed down, and I can get in depth, and I can answer questions. And I'm going to do it live. And then I'm going to make the course, the digital course, off of the live interaction that I do every day with you guys. And that'll be the course. So it's a way for me to get the course done too, because it's like I've been working on this course for about 3 years now. And it's just so hard, it's at the end of the day, every day I'm completely exhausted, or I have something family, and it's very hard to finish it. So this is going to force me to finish it, because I'm going to be live and I'm going to have to do it and go over each and every strategy, and then that'll be the course. There'll be Google Slides. Again, if you attend the live event, you'll have access to all the digital stuff after I'm done with it. I'm telling you guys, take advantage of this price, because it's going to be almost triple this, because I'm also going to be doing I didn't realize this till it was too late, after I already put out the offer out there. This was a whole nother course. I'll even show you here. This is a way to show you my SI course too, to go over the other stuff here. Hold on. Hold on. Well, nothing's going on, guys, so that's why I'm showing you this. It's just completely dead. Which is actually kind of rare. Usually when Trump's talking, the thing's just whipping everywhere. These keyword algos love to whip the market around. 99. All right, so you can see here, right? Like I was in the middle of making both of these. I was even closer to finishing this one. So this is the indicator course. We'll go over that. That's been out since 2023. I've also been working on this one. You can even see like the ATR and the strategy. I didn't even have the strategies in here, but this is the new course here, right? So, but anyway, you can see here, like I don't know if I dragged and dropped a lot of this stuff in here, but I think I did, yeah. So I already started this. Like I've already been adding stuff. So anyway, you're going to get this course as part of this course, because I screwed up and forgot that was a whole other course. So anyway, it's going to be triple the cost after this Monday. So this is what I'm talking about for the Stop Iceberg stuff. All right, hold on. Damn it. Something's going on here. See what I mean? Damn it. Did I fill? Alright, I guess I didn't fill it. I didn't get stopped out by about a tick, thank goodness. This is what I mean. Guys, you don't know. You just got to put the trade on. I would say something just came out there, wouldn't you? And then just swipe back and forth 30 ticks in 1 second. And I just got out. So whatever the hell that was. That's the second time I've lost money today on a headline. So anyway, this is the SI course. So this explains the Stop Iceberg events. The trading strategies is taking this information and applying to important areas. That's what I'm going to go over now, or on the course next week, 5 days, 3 to 4 strategies a day. So anyway, this is to Mr. Hart that was just asking, right? So this is how to draw the zones manually in case the zone drawing tool is not working, or if you have to merge zones. Here's a drawing tool that draws the zones for you now too. And then here's the setups: Dumb and Dumber, Stop and Hold, Titanic, Broken Ice, Double Whammy, Step Rose. Those are the 6 setups that I look for in my trading in important areas. So like this was a stop and hold, it still is.
Given exact details on how much time it will have would be set.
That was really delightful and
Raise gain, you continue your steady
Crew.
4 to 3%.
Anyway, this was a stop and hold. I could still put on Bark and Elixir, by the way. This is not disqualified as a long. If it's got to get the A tier out of there to make this a long no longer, meaning it's not valid. So I can still put on Barks and Elixir, but this was a stop and hold. You got dumb money puke, but it held and it's still holding. So I already have still with the bark on from the way down here. This was a bark and lick down here. I've gone over that 4 times now. And I already have this working actually. So if it moves out of here, I'm taking bark and lick. Remember I said I'm going to move this. This is the entry point. This is this yellow line. That's the long aggressive. But I'm not going to get in right in front of this Gex2, especially that I saw it fail. So I'm going to move it a little bit above there. And I'll add to my bark and put on a new lick. Alright. Any other questions? Throw them in. Let's read spot game here. I still haven't had a chance to read this. 319 FOMC downside seems weird. That's been in there for a while. Futures are lower. Before we dive into levels, the story is that FOMC didn't do much to clear the air. Trump followed with the tweets about needing to cut rates ahead of 4-2. He again marked that date. We're not macro guys, but tweets certainly cloud the picture and reinforces April 2nd as the date to watch. This matters to us in option space because it backs up the idea that implied vols cannot fully release until we clear the known unknown of tariffs. And that's just been an absolute treat to trade for the last month, those headlines, minus the tree part. Ultimately, post FOMC leaves our view unchanged from the macro notes points above and discussed yesterday. Levels 5700 to 5720 is resistance is enforced for today. So I still got these reversion trades working, by the way, in ES. Let's see where we're at here. I think we're through 5720. No, this is the 5700, 5720 level, and you can see this is what you want to know these levels with these options dealers. You see all the GEX levels, and this is the exact area, 5700 and 5720. It's struggling here, right? Anyway, I'm still going to take these reversions if it comes back. I mean, it's blew through all these, but I didn't put in. You could put these on aggressively too, and I would have been smushed on those. But that's why I'm taking the back door. It bounced off these levels. I'm taking them coming back. Below 5600 is negative gamma. Slippery downside. So when he says this stuff, pay attention. Meaning if it breaks 5600, it's probably going to go straight to 5565. That's 100 points below. So nothing to worry about right now if you're long. But 5500 to 5565 remains major support. So mark these levels. Looking at trace, we can see not only 5700 and a big positive gamma resistance bar. So actually, let's look at that here. This is all the real-time stuff that he's got going on. Oh, that's killing me. So you can see it's struggling at these. So I struggled, turn it back over. This is another big one down here. But we see Captain Condor. He loves this guy. He's always trying to. He wants them to lose. Captain Condor back as part of their Condor. They have a 3,800 lot call spread. Blah blah blah. So again, this is rabbit hole stuff. I don't care. I just care about the levels. Put spread component of the Condors. On that, the FOMC did serve to reduce implied vols. At last night's close, we commented that as a full smackdown of SPX implied volatilities. But that has some moderated this AM because there was a big down move overnight, right? I still don't know what that down move was. Fixed strike shoulder point reduction closed. Net the adverse reflects FOMC passing without much to do. Lastly, in terms of tomorrow's expiration, we are pretty neutral. This is because put prices positions have moderated versus calls. Neutral things. So nothing really there. So the main thing is this 5700 to 5720 levels of a big resistance point due to the options. I'll come back to wheat here if something goes down. All right, so markets have completely died. All I have on right now are 2 NQ, lick. I'm sorry, bark. Any questions? Throw them in. Utilize this time to ask questions. You'll have time next week too if you're on the webinar, the trading strategies, but that's all just trading strategies. I might as well go over this other stuff while nothing's happening.
Levy says Trump has a right to criticize Fed decision. Trump is clear he wants lower rates.
Alright, so Trump's still talking. So anyway, guys, so the rest of this stuff is this is everything I use in my trading. Doesn't mean you have to get all of it. You don't have to get any of it. The only thing you need is the SI indicator from Bookmap on the marketplace. So I know this is basic stuff, but you gotta remember there's new traders on here. Here's the marketplace. So you need to get the MBO bundle. That's this, right? This gives you all of this. But you need a connection to the enhanced data, right? So here's the data, Bookmapper data. I don't know about these. I didn't even know those existed, but I guess you can use those. This is what disseminates the MBO data. The MBO data is the enhanced data that the CME released. Now it's about 8 years ago, but no other data provider offers it, which is crazy because it's the enhanced data that shows you the stops and the icebergs, among other things. MBO bundle. So you get all this, the subchart, the on-chart, liquidity tracker, Trader Map Pro, Market Pulse. We haven't got a Market Pulse yet, but that's like Tick Strike on that I showed you this thing. Market Pulse is Tick Strike on steroids. They built Market Pulse per my request, and then they just ran with it. Now they got all these different algos for it. So you get all of that. You need that, right? So I'm just showing you the only things you need. You need that, and you need a data feed. So you can either get the Bookmap data. It's not on this ad. I don't know why, but you can get Rhythmic. If you want the Bookmap data, you go to their main website. Go over here to, is it features? No, pricing? No. Where is it? You know where it's at, Dan? You on here? Oh yeah, you gotta go to more and then Bookmap market data. So if you want their data, and it's cheaper too, $79. If you get the Rhythmic, so you can get these individually. Say you only want to trade ES and NASDAQ, which I don't recommend because you have all this opportunity in all these other markets. But each one of these is $40. Why is it not non-pro? If you're a pro, that's up to you to decide if you're a pro or non-pro. $40, $40, $40 to get all these. So it's like you got the bonds, grains on CBOT. You got crude, natural gas on NYMEX. You got gold, silver, copper on account. Each one of these is cost you $160. Or you do the CME bundle. You get all of these, and you save $60, right? $59. So that's that. You can get this through your broker too. You can get it through Apex. Speaking of which, that's the one that I back, that I use for all my trading strategies. A bunch of traders in my trade room are using it too, and it's a great way to practice your trading, not a game, practice, as Alvin Iverson said. And they actually, I'm looking at an email right now, they just said they got a new sale. So whatever sale is going on, you come here, if you use Pulcini 50, you get for whatever sale they got going on. And guys, this is what you want, something like this is what you want to use if you're working on your trading or if you're learning something new. You don't want to be risking your own money before you know what the hell is going on. I'm telling you. So get one of these. It's a fraction of the cost. Why does it say wealth charts? Oh, that's another option. So you can get Rhythmic or Trader, right? That's what I use. I don't use the wealth chart stuff, but I don't even know about that. Anyway, you get this. If it's supposed to work, it's not working. All right, that's delightful. So it's supposed to pop up.
I don't believe Trump has spoken.
But it doesn't cost you $297. It's 80. They have an 80% sale. Just put whatever sale they got going on. Put Pulcini 50, and you get access to it. You got to be aware of the rules here. So here's two examples. I had one yesterday. I've blown out of 2 accounts recently of the trading strategies, and they both were profitable. What are you talking about, Scott? Hold on there. Same. Keep.
That is said it would be big tariffs.
Hold on here. showing my bank statement there. It's from one of my joint accounts with my wife. That puppy, the reason I have that because I qualify for a take profit account, live account, and they asked for that stuff, so I don't know. So that's why that was there. Anyway, what I'm getting at is, you can see here, like this was, I blew out another one yesterday, I just realized that, but like this account here, this was the PIC account. It's admin only. I'm sorry, this was the Izzy account. Well, you can see I was up $2,100. Well, what happened there? Well, because, so I do the $150,000 accounts for mostly. Some of these are $250,000, but the $150,000, you got to make $9,000 before you lose $5,000. That's great, but you got to realize it's a trailing stop. So in this one, I was up. You can see $7,200, right? So I was $1,800 away from getting funded for this account, and I had a drawdown. You're going to have drawdowns, especially in this market environment. So I pulled back $5,000. I'm positive I blew out the account. So I had another one. It happened yesterday too. Same thing. This 83. I'm up still up $2,000 on it. Hold on, I'm gonna put on crude here. I was close to funding on that one too. Hey guys, this is just part of trading. You got to realize there's drawdowns. Well, my point is that's the drawback of using these trading funding things. Because if you're trading your own money, if you draw back and you still have $2,000, you don't lose the account, right? So just be aware of that. But this is a great option to work on your trading without a lot of, but you still have skin in the game, so it means something. But you're not blowing out $5,000 accounts while you learn. All right, hold on. I just don't know if I want to be. I don't know what's going on here, what this news story was. But I'll still take it. It's kind of settled down. This is a position trade now. So if this comes back, my pattern for this is a bark and a lick. I'll take that trade, but I need a retest. Actually, it already retested. I take that back. It retested on this nonsense, whatever the hell that was. So I should already be long bark and lick here. Algo guy's very bullish. So I'm taking bark and lick crude. Again, there's some, Trump's talking, but I'm used to it. So I will take it. I can put on 14, risking $500, 14 micros.
And remarks through courses outside the White House.
That was the wrong account, of course. I want bark and lick. So this is the ideal situation right here, right? So I just got in off of this event. Now I have a new event. So this is a way to really control my loss. This is how I trail my stops. I don't trail my stops because I have profit in my trade. I trail my stops based on something happened in the market. The market doesn't care if I have profit in my trade. The market cares about something that's happening in the market. So I'm long off that. My stop was way down here. Here's a new event. Now I get to trail my stop all the way up to there. I don't like stopping in front of or in prior zone, so I'll move it just below there. I'm still saving myself, almost 20 ticks. And then you have other trades developing here, trading strategies. You could take an A+ reversion. Here's your 1 ATR, as long as the stop for that is through the prior event. That's that guy. I could take that. Then say this moves higher and it's bullish. I can add barks and licks. Who keeps texting me? So anyway, I'm going to trail my stop for these down to here. Move it below this zone, 67.95. But something's going down in crude. So if you say, you know what, no thanks, I don't feel like trading right now, I don't blame you. But I just got swiped out of that thing, whatever the hell that was. All right, guys, I got to hop off here. No questions. Oh, here we go. What add-ons do you need for Bookmap to learn the strategies? So you can learn this. This is a perfect example. You can learn while I'm trading live. How easy is that as a new, I'm assuming you're a new trader. It's probably not very easy. Your head's probably spinning of all the stuff I'm talking about, right? That's why I keep saying you can learn this stuff while I trade, but it's going to take you a lot longer. If you want to fast track it, you go to my website or Bookmaps. You can get the SI indicator course there or on my website. That's this guy. All right, so you go to my website. Oh, then the other thing I want to show you before I hop off here too, quickly, I'll show you here. So go to courses. This is the new SI course. This will help you understand the rules behind the Stop Iceberg events. Right? Then, if you want to learn my strategies where I apply the stop iceberg events, that's what I'm doing next week. So that's this guy, and it gives us 330, not 130. This is literally going to be almost triple the amount after I do this event, so take advantage of it. This is where I go over all the events, how I draw these zones, everything, right? So, and it's going to be outside of market hours, so I can slow down. I know I've already said that. So the other thing too, guys, I'm building this out. It's my wall of power. Go to the testimonials here, click on these beautiful faces. If they appear, of course it's not working. There you go. Each one of these there'll be more. I ask my room guys, the traders that are successful, to say something. So you go to just click on it. You get the testimonial, right? You get it through Loom. You get it for free, right? So each one of these is saying, well, some of these guys have been in my room for 2 years or more, right? Here's Madam Shizzle. So there'll be more on here. So if you want more proof that what I'm doing works and it slows down for you, just go listen to some of those. All right, guys. When you say volume events, are you referring to Delta? No, I'm not referring to Delta. Gio, did you get on here late? I've only been talking about this for 2 hours, an hour and a half. Talking about stop iceberg events. Talking about hidden orders in the order book and or stop runs. Stop runs are usually retail traders puking. The buy ice, sell ice are hidden orders from the big money. Has nothing to do with Delta. So, if you're also confused, go to my website. There's a bunch of videos here. Go to the Bookmap, this Bookmap YouTube. Well, I'm struggling here. So if you go on my website and you scroll down here, there's also videos here. You go to my YouTube channel. That's about my story. That was just released. I did an interview. I lost $6,000 live on this account because I forgot orders were in the order book, so that was delightful. Here's a method Q where I talk about using the GEX levels for sexy GEXy strategies. Here's what spot gammas. So you can go to my Bookmap YouTube, my YouTube as well, and watch my past webinars to start learning about this stuff. So, all right, that's it, guys. I'm still long bark. I'll stop out if it breaks the zone. I actually forgot to put that in, and I'm long crude, and I trail my stop to that. Otherwise, pretty dead. Be careful with these headlines as much as you can. A lot of times you're not going to know they're coming out, but just be aware. All right, I will see you guys next Thursday or on my trading strategy course 5 days next week. Thank you.